How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Minus the Gym, and I am really excited for this video because for the last 3 months I've been consistently using rings here. You can see they suspend in a doorway, and that to me is like revolutionary because if you go back to my earlier videos when I first introduced rings here on the channel, you saw that I was using them in a doorway, but I had a pull-up bar, a doorway pull-up bar mounted there, and I sort of reinforced the trim of the doorway. And that's how I was using my rings, just hanging them from a doorway pull-up bar, which is obviously not the safest way to do it. Well, the rings attachment for the Duonamic Elevia make it really safe. I'm going to explain why that is, how the rings work, how you set them up, and just my overall thoughts about them. So check it out. All right, really quick before we dive into the details, I want to introduce myself for anyone new. My name is Ryan Sadalek. I'm a certified personal trainer. I love body weight fitness, plant-based nutrition, and that's pretty much what Minus the Gym is all about. And let me explain what the Duonamic Elevia is, because you have to understand that before you dive into the rings. So the Elevia are essentially pull-up grips that hang safely in a doorway. I've been using my Elevia for 2 years now consistently at home and when I travel, like we go to an Airbnb or something, I bring them with. And the reason why is because they are so convenient. You can do hanging exercises and pull-ups in pretty much any doorway. And when I say pretty much, the reason why I say that is because Duonamic on their website in the FAQ section have some specs that you can print or take a screenshot of and save them to your phone. And whenever you travel and you're using a new doorway, simply bring a tape measure with you, measure the trim, the molding, and compare it to what's in the specs. And as long as that molding is up to code, then you can safely use your Elevia on that door frame. I have 3 different door frames here at the house that I use my Elevia on, plus another door frame at the studio that I've used it on, and that's pretty cheap trim, and yet I've had no issues. I use it quite a bit there. And when I found out that this past January that Duonamic was releasing the rings attachment, I got super excited because one of the things I've always struggled with is finding a good place to hang rings. I don't have any really low tree branches here that I can trust. I don't have a pergola or anything like that outside. So when it comes to hanging gymnastics rings, really the only place I've been able to do that safely has been my garage. I have an I-beam pull-up bar that I mounted in the garage. That thing cost over $200, by the way. And I do hang gymnastics rings from there, but it gets really cold in there in the winter. So this was just amazing. When Duonamic released their rings attachment, I was super excited. Been using them for 3 months now, and I feel like I can finally give you an honest review. So let's talk about how you attach the rings to the Duonamic Elevia. First, what you want to do is remove the pull-up grips that come with the Elevia. And you do that with this like triangular locking mechanism that you just unlock, and then you can remove the cords and remove the pull-up grips that come stock with the Elevia. Then you put the cords through the Elevia grips and put on that triangular locking carabiner thing. And that is going to be what you attach the rings straps to. Now there's really 2 main ways that I attach the straps. The first is with the first loop, which has no numbers on it. There are numbers on the straps for each loop, which I love because then you can easily get them symmetrical, like get them at even heights on each side. But there is an unnumbered loop at the top of each strap. And when you use that unnumbered loop, when you put that through the triangular carabiner thing, then what you can do is just put the strap and the carabiner on the end through your rings and then latch that carabiner onto any loop you want, any number you want for your desired height. That's probably the standard way that you're going to use these rings because it's easy to adjust the height, and you can use it for if you want to do ring push-ups, ring dips, ring L-sits, anything where you're going to have the rings kind of lower, working on muscle-ups, and adjust the height that way. But now the other way that you can mount the straps is so you can get the rings high up, and that's what I have going on right now behind me. You can see the rings are pretty high up, and that's how I do chin-ups and any kind of pulling exercises when I'm working on front levers and things like that. And the way you want to do it is instead of putting that top loop through the triangular carabiner, you want to instead put loop 17. All right, so the last loop, the highest number. When you put 17 through that triangular piece, that's going to leave you just a little bit of excess strap and the carabiner, which you put through your ring, and then you want to secure the carabiner to loop 17 as well. And that way you have these high mounted rings. Now you're going to have a lot of leftover strap just hanging there, But what's cool is that they include some Velcro, a small Velcro strap, so that you can coil up, you can sort of roll up that excess strap, wrap around the Velcro, and that way you don't have a bunch of excess strap just dangling. I think it goes without mentioning, but you don't want to do any kipping or explosive exercises on these rings. Typically you don't on rings, but people getting into like elite level gymnastics, like Olympic level gymnastics routines, you see them doing very explosive stuff on the rings. Of course, you don't want to do that in a doorway. That would not be a good idea. You want to be at a gym, you want to have properly secured rings, but I'm assuming most people looking into doorway rings are not Olympic gymnasts. They're kind of like me, just looking for, a fun, easy way to use rings inside your house and to improve your level of fitness. Now, like I said, as long as you check the specs and you make sure that your molding is up to code, you'll have no problems. I've had no issues with these grips, damaging my trim or falling down or anything like that. So you just want to do your due diligence and make sure that your molding is up to code, and then you have nothing to worry about. A couple more quick things worth mentioning is that the rings are wooden. Okay, you can tell just by looking behind me, but these appear to be like Olympic standard size rings. If I compare them to other rings I have, like the metallic ones from Base Blocks, the Base Blocks rings are much smaller in diameter. I'd say almost like an inch smaller. So these are really thick rings that are going to challenge your grip, and I do believe they are Olympic standard size. Also, I just want to emphasize that these rings from Duonamic are an attachment for the Elevia. That means you already need to have the Duonamic Elevia, and then you can buy the rings attachment to hang on the Elevia. So they're two separate things at their store. But I do believe they sell them as a package now, so if you don't have the Elevia, you can save a little bit of money and you can just get the whole package. Like I mentioned, I've been using these now for 3 months, and I honestly can say that they have been a game changer for me because I struggled with getting on my rings consistently due to weather and a lack of places to hang my rings. So if you're in the same boat, if you don't really have good, safe places to hang rings and you've wanted that doorway option, but you were hesitant, this is a great thing to have. I really do recommend it. And I do want to mention on that note that they do sell the Elevia on Amazon, but you can actually save a little money if you buy it on their website. From the Duonamic website, just use my discount code -10 to get 10% off, and it's actually cheaper. You'll save a little bit of money that way if you buy from their website and use my code. Unfortunately, my code doesn't work on Amazon. So just want to mention that. Oh, and in advance, thank you if you do buy this with my discount code. That supports me and the channel, so I thank you in advance for that. All right, everybody, if you've been wanting to use rings in your doorways safely, finally there's an option, and I'm so glad to be bringing it to you here on the channel. So make sure you check this out if you're interested. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure to stay tuned. Minus the Gym is all about body weight fitness and plant-based nutrition. I want to be bringing more nutrition to the channel. I made a video about that recently, so make sure you stay tuned. I'm really excited, and I hope to see you in the next one. Talk to you then.